part of the Alumni Takeover Week. I'm joined by my first ever co-host of the Morning Buzz, Kat Barnett, our newscaster, Isaiah Ramirez, and our sportscaster, Sam Spader, who I also used to host the Morning Buzz with, and our Trends host, Gabby Lutz.
But now it is time for me to give you all the proper introduction. Brandon transferred to Montclair State in 2014 and got involved with WMSC shortly after. Over the years, he served as promotions director, music librarian, and music director until he graduated in late 2016. He now works as a media operations manager for NBC Universal, and during his time off, he can be found fishing in the streams, rivers, and lakes of the Northeast. Kat started at Montclair State in 2012 as a freshman and got involved with WMSC her sophomore year. She was the co-news director and then the first female sports director at the station. She was also the first host of the Morning Buzz alongside Brandon. Since graduating, she works at Map 360 Collective, an entertainment marketing and PR agency, and is now located in none other than Las Vegas, Nevada. And last but not least, Sam. Sam is one of the former sports directors at WMSC, and in her final semester at the station, she stepped down from her position sports to be assistant web director. She is now the director at News 12 New Jersey. Guys, it's great to have you on the show.
It's great to be
here. We haven't lost it, Brandon. We haven't lost it.
No, not one bit.
Well, we are going to move on to the newscast, which is myself. So, in Montclair news, the Montclair Public Library will be kicking off a national search for a news director and bidding farewell to Peter Coyle, who has held the position since 2017. Board trustees as recently announced. Coyle will be resigning in December 10th, and he is the 16th director at the historic 128-year-old library. Now, in New Jersey news, a Monmouth County man has filed a lawsuit against the Middleton Township Board of Education and former teacher, claiming he was sexually abused repeatedly from the ages 13 to 16 in the mid-1990s. The man, now 40, claims in court papers that a female language teacher at Thompson Middle School engaged in lewd and inappropriate conduct and/or sexual abuse and assault in violations of New Jersey laws. In national news, New York City is now the first city in the nation to open 2 overdose prevention centers that will allow drug users to receive medical care and services to prevent drug overdose deaths. The overdose prevention centers, also known as supervised consumption sites or safe injection sites, provide a safer place for drug users to administer drugs and get medical care if they overdose, the city said. The center can also provide connections to treatment and social services to help in their recovery. Now it is time for the weather. In Montclair, we have a disgustingly cold one. We have a high of 45 and a low of 30, but my bones say the real feel is a solid -20. Expect to see some clouds, but the sun will be out today. As of now, expect no precipitation, but given New Jersey and their track record, nothing is really predictable. So that is your news report around 7:05 a.m. So we have a sportscast coming up from none other. Hello.
There we go.
Okay.
Zoom. You'd think after a year and a half we'd figure this out. Time for our sportscast this morning. MLB news. We've got some off-season news. The Mets lost infielder Javier Baez to the Tigers after he finalized a 6-year, $140 million contract. Another loss on the other side of the city. Corey Kluber signed a 1-year deal with the Rays after spending last season with the Yanks. NBA, the Knicks and Nets played each other last night in Brooklyn. Nets took the W 112-110 after 2 James Johnson free throws with 2.2 seconds left. Over to hockey, Islanders and Flyers are postponed. The Islanders still have COVID. Meanwhile, the Devils fell to the Sharks 5-2. Lastly, football, my favorite personally. NFL gears up for week 13 tomorrow night as Dallas heads to New Orleans. The Cowboys' absentee list grows as they'll be without their head coach, Mike McCarthy, who tested positive for COVID. However, rookie wide receiver CeeDee Lamb is expected to be back from concussion protocol. NCAA gearing up for conference championship weekend, including SEC's Alabama-Georgia matchup. And that's your sports for this morning.
Thank you very much, Sam, for that. So now we're going to move on into our stories for the day. So starting off here, we have 3 killed in shooting at a Michigan high school. 3 people were killed and 8 others were injured in a shooting Tuesday at Oxford High School in suburban Detroit. The suspect, a 15-year-old sophomore, is in custody. A handgun was also found. The 3 people killed were students at the high school. Their identities have not yet been released. Authorities have described them all as teenagers, a 16-year-old boy, a 14-year-old girl, and a 17-year-old girl. I mean, it's just truly terrible. Unfortunately, we hear about this more and more, it seems. But Kat, I think even back when we were in Montclair, we were covering a story like not too unlike this one.
Not too dissimilar. I think I was reading yesterday that this is the 29th school shooting of 2021. So it's hard. It's always hard to hear it.
It really is. Officials have said the 8 wounded, including a teacher, were taken to hospitals with various injuries, according to officials. 2 were in surgery late Tuesday afternoon, and the condition was unclear. 6 others were stable. The loss of life and the injuries that come from all this gun violence we've had throughout this country is just so tragic. And I really hope that, the families can find some closure. I also read in this story from CNN about the shooting that the 15-year-old is currently not cooperating with police. His parents have hired an attorney and they asked him not to speak with police. And, you'd really just like to see the parents kind of pushing their son to work with the police just so that we can get to the bottom of this. Why did this happen? What can we do to help this person? Because obviously this 15-year-old is at a time of crisis himself or herself. And them helping, I can't even imagine.
Them helping is how we solve this from happening at other schools in the future.
Yeah, exactly. We just, it's just terrible. You can't believe, something like this. When I was 15 years old, I couldn't even imagine, holding a gun, and, the turmoil that person must have been going through is probably through the roof. And, you hate to see this in every sense of the way. And I really hope that the families of the victims get some closure for this.
Agreed. Definitely agree with your sentiments there, Brandon. Very well said.
Thanks, Kat.
Of course. Do we want to talk about everyone's favorite subject, COVID-19?
Yeah.
That's next up on the
story. Yeah.
That's next up on the roster, guys. Brazil and Japan report their first cases of the Omicron variant, and a U.S. panel backs a first of a kind COVID-19 pill from Merck, Big Pharma. Brazil and Japan joined the rapidly widening circle of countries to report cases of the new variant on Tuesday. Brazil recorded a massive total of more than 600,000 COVID-19 deaths. The country reported finding the variant in 2 travelers returning from South Africa, which makes them the first known Omicron cases in Latin America, according to officials. The travelers were tested on November 25th. So, I mean, we've already been going at this for a little while with the new variant.
Yeah. And, Japan announced its first case too on the same day. The country tried to put a ban on all foreign visitors into effect. The patient was identified as a Namibian diplomat who had recently arrived from his homeland. So, I just, you can't get away from the COVID news, it seems. And the Omicron variant, these names I think are getting a little doomsday.
Aggressive?
I was hoping.
Agreed.
Yeah,
kind of like Delta the sound variant, of this one.
Okay. See,
it's new.
The only
Sounds
time
unique.
the only time I had ever heard the word Omicron before was on a Sega Dreamcast game featuring David Bowie. But now it's a COVID variant. So
now it's a COVID variant.
I will say, the best thing you can do to protect yourself is to get vaccinated, go get the booster.
I'm boosted. I've been joking, like, let's get boosted. I'm boosted.
Hey guys,
I
have a huge announcement, guys. As my ears were just exploded by my headphones. I am not boosted yet. And I'm sorry.
Oh.
I will get boosted eventually.
Please get boosted.
I'll get boosted.
Yes,
I'll get boosted.
Please.
I'll send you guys messages. Your boy
Thank
got boosted.
you. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear that you got boosted. So, and then in COVID-19 pill news, a panel of US health advisors narrowly backed a closely watched COVID-19 pill, setting the stage for a likely authorization of the first drug that Americans can take at home to treat the coronavirus. This is really exciting to me. I think we need something that's easier and attainable. I mean, I thought the vaccine was easier and attainable too, but that doesn't mean the whole world does. So I love something that's easy,
Yeah.
do
Let's
yourself.
Pop some pills, guys. Pop some pills.
Yeah, Advil, cold and COVID, everybody's favorite. No, but I think Kat's right, and there are certain people in the country who aren't, there's a lot of people who don't want to get the vaccine or, can't for religious reasons. And I think this is a good way for them to still be able to fight COVID, or if that's something they're more comfortable with. But at the same time, you get COVID, you pop this new miracle COVID pill from Merck, and hopefully that's going to make you feel better. But that's, Kat,
I'm glad someone agrees with me. I don't know. Everyone doesn't seem to agree with everyone else when it comes to COVID, but it's actually interesting. The vote was only 13-10. So it was very close. Like this thing almost didn't pass. So that's interesting to think about too.
I do see there are potential risk of birth defects if you use this pill during pregnancy. So obviously this pill is not going to be for everyone. It's going to go through some more testing before it gets released. But, very, very exciting that this is a possibility on the horizon here.
I would agree, but honestly, it does sound great. But the 13-10, like Kat said, is a little, at least to me, a little concerning how it's that narrow. I would like to see more, like a lot of them like agree, like 9-10 dentists for toothpaste. I'd like that for a COVID pill. But yeah,
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think having another option is always good, right? Because not everyone wants to get stuck in the arm. And so if it does as good or almost as good as the vaccine is going to do, I think it's not that I'm a medical professional. But
what are you talking about?
I'm not a
medical
professional. I'm putting that right now on the air. I'm not a medical professional.
Brandon, are you a medical professional?
I can tell you, I most certainly am not.
Oh man. Well, guys, I will say there is
in the news. You feel like a medical professional though sometimes.
Very true.
Surrounded by it, I just feel like you know more than most people some days.
Ain't that the truth?
Shout out to New Jersey and its weird people. Hey guys, we're gonna go to a quick break, and we'll be right back here on not only the Morning Buzz Alumni Edition.
Hey everyone, and we are back with this morning's edition of the Morning Buzz. Brandon, I have a really exciting story for you as a recently married man.
Oh.
There is a New Jersey man who did slightly too much for love, a little more than I think you did for Jesse, who, if I recall, you were dating back when we were doing Morning Buzz the first time, which is just, I love that for you. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So an 85-year-old Asbury Park man was sentenced to 10 years in state prison for running over a romantic rival with a car and killing him just 3 days before Christmas 3 years ago. Johnny Westbrook, age 85, pleaded guilty to 1 count of first-degree aggravated manslaughter, and he must serve at least 8 years and 6 months. I hope someone loves me that much when I'm in my 80s. Let's get that out there. But like, don't go around killing people who also love your person. Westbrook admitted he followed his rival, age 63, a resident of Asbury Park, to a convenience store. Officials say that Westbrook waited outside the store in his SUV for several minutes. When he emerged from the store, he drove his SUV onto the sidewalk, ran over Rivera, and dragged him several feet. This is terrible. Again, don't do this when you're in love with someone.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is maybe the most New Jersey story that's going to be featured on the news today. And you just know this happened outside of a Wawa.
I was like, what convenience store? It has to, I was thinking the same thing.
It's got to be a Wawa. If not, it's a Quick Check. There's not many options down there.
I
mean, it's Asbury, so I think it's Wawa. I think we have a better chance of being a Wawa.
That's more Wawa territory. And Kat, definitely agree with you. Please don't run over anyone. But this rivalry, I don't know. The 85 63s going after the younger man. I don't know who the feud over the woman was. The woman is not
Yeah.
really
So he
really
admitted
mentioned in this
he
story.
targeted the other guy because of a woman. This is not the first time they had a physical altercation either. They got into some sort of fight about a month before the killing. I mean, love is cool, but this is terrible.
And
don't
it
do
was
this.
just 3 days before Christmas. That's really terrible. Someone was taken away from their family during the holidays. You never like to hear anything like that. But I just 85 years old. I can't even believe that someone has the wherewithal to go out and plan this at 85. When I'm 85, I hope to be just very much relaxing.
I don't even know if I'll be able to
about.
drive.
Exactly. I'm surprised you could still drive at 85.
I mean, I can barely drive at 28, so I don't know about this guy at 85.
Yeah, and apparently I don't know if you would call him a good driver or a bad driver, but he's doing it. And then he just went back to his apartment, just hanging out after the terrible crime he committed. And I mean, at least it seems like he was cooperative with police. He was, arrested without much incident.
He admitted he did it. That's
yeah.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, so maybe there's a little bit of remorse there. Maybe
as
he was
nice
like,
as you can be after murdering someone.
Because you're 85 years old. Prison is not a nice place. You are not in the best shape of your life. You
sentenced for 10 years.
When I'm 85.
There's no way she's going to wait for him at that point, right?
The story.
Well, we don't even know if she loved him. She might have been into the 63-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
And
she might have been into neither of them. She might have been like, you guys are crazy.
He must serve at least 8 years and 6 months before he's eligible for parole. And he's 85 years old. I mean, even if you get out, you're almost 95 years old and you've been in a concrete cell as an old man for 10 years. That just doesn't sound like anything I want to be a part of.
No, you're saying you won't run anyone over.
No, there will definitely be no people getting run over here, especially when I'm 85. I'm just going to be sitting on the couch, maybe in a fishing canoe, floating, doing nothing. Certainly won't be running over anyone. Oh man.
I'm glad I've learned two things today at least, guys, is get boosted and don't run people over.
At least you're learning. I'm glad Brandon and I could do that for you.
Thank you, guys.
These are good lessons to take home. Well, I think let's move on to our next story here. So this is a local story. Kat, you and I are not really affected by this story so much anymore, but
no.
In college, I think I would have been happy to hear about this because kiosk parking is going to replace meters in Montclair lots by the end of the year.
Well, that's exciting.
So Montclair is planning to install kiosk parking payment stations at all surface lots, which marks the end of parking meters used for lots. These new kiosks are expected to roll out in late December. According to Communications Director Katya Wauk, all of the pay stations and kiosks will be activated after the free holiday parking period is over at the end of December. Meters that had been in place at the lots will be redistributed to streets to help mitigate the township's ongoing problem with broken meters. Now, let me tell you.
I must say, that's a great time to switch them out. That is
perfect.
Smart thinking on the city's part. I'm going to give them that.
The installers get time and a half for holiday pay. They're working through the holidays. There's a free parking period for the holidays at the end of the year. Get the people in your town, get the local commerce going. And then at the end of the month, if you run out of quarters in your car like I do, because who has cash anymore, you don't have to feed the meter, or worse, you show up to the meter that's broken with a quarter. It's the only spot on the whole street. And now you can't pay and you run the risk of getting a ticket. Let me tell you, I'm all about that.
Good thinking. Everything should be mobile nowadays. Everything should be able to be done from my phone.
Looks like North Jersey finally took a page out of the Shore's playbook, because
I was just about to say that.
Down here for years.
Yeah, I was about to say I went to the See Here Now festival in Asbury Park earlier this fall, and it was so easy to park. You just park on the street, pay on your phone. You can pay for the whole day. You're good to go.
You don't have to go back to the meter to put more quarters in. You just do it again right from your phone. It's
right, especially because all those old meters, they max out at like 2 or 3 hours. So even if you're there for, 4 hours, you still have to go back and feed it, which now in some towns they don't even allow you to feed meter. They're like, oh no, once your meter runs out, you got to move your car.
Wow. See, that I didn't know. That's crazy.
Oh, you've never seen that?
I've never seen that. I'm not usually the one who drives. I'm usually sitting and let someone else go feed the meter.
But now you can't drive around and look for the meter that still has 30 minutes left.
That's
true.
The person to pay again. So that's smart too.
Yeah, I guess someone would have to like leave their little paper parking receipt like in the spot. But like,
you put
that only works if you don't need your license plate. No, Sam and I are on the same page.
Oh, the license plate. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I will say some of those parking apps, they request you to do a little bit too much to set it up the first time. It's like,
oh, we were in Chicago. They asked us to put $50 into the app to be able to keep using. And we're like, we're literally in Chicago for 2 nights. Like, we're never going to spend $50 in parking.
There's some of that stuff that I don't like. And like the one thing I'll say about Asbury Park's parking is they have their own app. So it's specifically the Asbury Park parking app. So I can't use this like app for everywhere. This is only for Asbury Park.
So that's really interesting that you bring that up, because there are going to be the ways to pay with the app with these new kiosks. Flowbird, which apparently is brand new, or Park Mobile, which everyone's been using for as long as these kiosks have been around at this point. So it's good that there are options and people can use the app that they're more comfortable with. It's always good to make things easy. We just talked about this with COVID. It's always good to make things easy for the people.
Yeah, definitely. And I do like that there are multiple options for that. If it was like, again, the Montclair parking app, it's like, okay, well, just another app that's taking up space on my phone. But that's good to hear. Awesome.
And there's
good on Montclair.
Shout out to Montclair, guys. Huge fan of Park Mobile. Have it downloaded. It's now my wallpaper on my phone. That's how much I love it.
That's a little aggressive, but okay.
Love is love. At least I'm not running anyone over, right?
There you go. You're not going and running over Flowbird because you're obsessed with Park Mobile.
For sure. Guys, as much as I love talking about parking or running people over, it is time to go yet on another break. And when we come back, we got more stories and a new visitor on the show. Guys, stay tuned for the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz.
And we are back with the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz. I am Brandon Simanski with my co-host, Kat Barnett. And we're moving on to an interesting story here, Kat. This is something that I don't think I was ready to talk about this morning because it's a little scary. The headline of this story is "Science is focused on the wrong projects." So U.S. scientists the U.S. scientists who created the first living robots say the life forms known as xenobots can now reproduce. These robots are formed. That's what I said when I read this. These robots are formed from the stem cells of the African clawed frog. Each xenobot is less than 1 millimeter wide, and the tiny blobs were first unveiled in 2020 after experiments showed that they could move and work together in groups and self-heal. So this is how we get X-Men, right? This is
we're Brandon, don't give him ideas. Science is going too far yet again.
So the African clawed frog. I don't know if you've ever seen the African clawed frog. It's kind of scary looking. They're
named after the African clawed frog. So I'm doing a little Googling here because I'm a little like, what is a living robot? I'm a little bit itchy now thinking about it. The African clawed frog's science name is the first word is xenopus. So that's where they get the xenobot from. Just like fun fact to make myself sound educated on the subject.
Well, I'm no scientist. We've said earlier, but let me tell you, this is horrifying.
Oh, and they look like tiny blobs of moving pink flesh.
Yeah, they're like we said, they're less than a millimeter wide. So they're just little tiny, they're like nanobots from there was a cartoon I used to watch. That was like, oh, send in the nanobots.
So now we have the
I,
nanobots and the X-Men. Now what's going on with the world? Should I be concerned?
We might have to be concerned. The scientists that developed these are at the University of Vermont, Tufts University, and Harvard University's Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering. And they said they have discovered an entirely new form of biological reproduction different from any animal or plant known to science.
So these are really smart people who are doing this.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be some practical uses for these xenobots.
World domination. That's what it's being used for.
That's very possible. I personally can't fathom what we could use these for right off the bat,
So this quote right here is freaking me out. So Michael Levin, he's a professor of biology at Tufts, said, and I quote, "I was astounded by it. Frogs have a way of reproducing that they normally use, but when you liberate the cells from the rest of the embryo and you give them a chance to figure out how to be in a new environment, not only do they figure out a way to move, but they also figure out a new way to reproduce." That's weird, right? Like that's weird.
Have we just not seen enough movies in our lifetime to understand that this is how it starts? Science is this weird thing where they try to think they're all smart and cool. Oh, we can reproduce. And next thing you know, giant robots in the sky, and then humans are done. This is terrible news, guys. Why are you guys not worried?
Listen, I am a little worried about these guys. Now, if let's say these are being transported on some sort of vessel, I don't know, be it a plane or a boat, and they get into the cockpit or into the captain's helm, and they start steering the boat, and they're making the decisions. I don't know.
This kind of reminds me of that show on HBO Max, Raised by Wolves, where there are like these robot people who bring the last of human embryos to another planet, and these robots are raising these humans as their own children. I don't know. It feels very...
It's a movie, man. This is a movie in the making right now.
No,
this is real life.
Listen,
it reminds me of, we want to have an innocent amusement park. We figured out how to get dinosaurs at this amusement park. They're innocent. Everything is
there. We go.
You're gonna be okay. It's a fun family place. That did not end well.
That did not end well. But then again, we are not scientists. The same way we are not medical professionals. Maybe this is a really positive thing, because maybe the way they reproduce are going to help us with advancements in our future, being able to
I don't know,
in other ways.
I'm trying to be first 30 minutes.
I don't want to tell our listeners things acting like I know what I'm talking about.
It's
just
a doomsday
doesn't
scenario.
mean you should be scared.
Well, listen, I am excited. I am excited about the prospect of the part that they can self-heal. That might be really beneficial to someone in the future if they can figure out how to help us heal certain diseases or, faster heal wounds. But on the other hand, it's only a matter of time before the first mutated frog gets out of the lab. It's biting someone. Then you've got Frogman. His tongue's flying across the room after flies. And he's like, whoa, how did I do that?
And then he can swing from building to building on his... Right. You said X-Men. I went to Spider-Man, and then I wasn't going to be like, well, they're not the same thing. So I'm glad you brought that up too. Because we're just confusing all of our universes right now.
This is wild.
So let's move on to something that we might be able to talk a little bit more about factually. Emma Coronel wife of Kingpin El Chapo was sentenced to 3 years. So now we're back to talking about prison sentences, everyone's favorite thing to talk about early in the morning. The wife of notorious Mexican drug lord El Chapo has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in helping his cartel. She's 32 years old and she pleaded guilty in June to charges ranging from conspiracy to illegal drug distribution. She also admitted to helping El Chapo escape from prison in Mexico. Again, someone who admits that they did something wrong. She pleaded guilty. She knows she did something wrong. She could have faced life in prison, but U.S. prosecutors asked for a shorter sentence after she expressed remorse. Well, there we go. Her husband is currently serving a life sentence in Colorado. She used to be a beauty queen. Imagine being a beauty queen, going from beauty queen to being drug lord wife to being.
I mean, that's quite the transition, I'll say. You know, I don't know if you'd necessarily call that a glow up, but
whatever the opposite of a glow up is, I think is.
I will say there is a reason why she is involved in that. Is that I believe her dad was part of their drug cartel, and that's how they had that relationship go on. So
well, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, we're connecting things together here, guys. Scientists, you know, experts in all fields here.
Yeah, you know, the one thing I'll say is she, in 2015, she played a critical role in helping Guzman, El Chapo, escape from maximum security prison by purchasing a property near the jail. So
talk about some prison break stuff, some real ahead of everyone else thinking. You know?
Right, and like, you know, 3 years, you feel bad. I get that, you know, but from life sentence to 3 years is quite the chop off of time there. Maybe a couple more years.
He's getting less time than the car guy.
Yeah.
She's getting less time than the car guy. But like,
she helps
but then that's where we start talking about like
escape federal prison.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think killing someone's, or you know, whatever, manslaughter is pretty terrible.
Worse, I think.
But this woman has been doing a lot of shady stuff, and if you add up all the stuff she's done, I feel like, you know, and she's not much older than, you know, the group of us alumni. And, you know, like,
if you factor in the, you know, all the aiding and abetting to importing mass amounts of heroin and the heroin epidemic in the country, I mean, who knows how many people she really is responsible, you could say, for the death of. So I don't know. Yeah. 3 years. 3 years is pretty short. Maybe I'm going a little hard, but I don't think so.
Oh, and this isn't just heroin, by the way. It's also cocaine, methamphetamines, and marijuana. Like,
nice.
It's which
nice.
It's a lot. Like, it's not even just like, I mean, heroin's bad, but like, let's just keep adding to this laundry list of things, right?
Yeah, so she also ordered, the court ordered that she forfeit nearly $105 million and be subject to 4 years of supervised release when she leaves prison. So she'll have some sort of, I'm sure, like, I don't know, a parole officer checking in on her, or an ankle monitor, or something like that. Yeah. Wow.
Imagine having that much money and having to give it up.
Imagine
having that much money.
Yeah. And that's like, she's probably like, yeah, that's fine. I've got more.
Definitely does. I will say, guys, I think as we were talking about this, she must have revealed a lot of stuff to only get a 3-year sentence.
She must have thrown so many people under the bus.
So I think that's probably the main reason why she would be able to get such a reduced sentence, is a lot of people are probably getting arrested soon, I'd imagine. Yeah,
you know that meme with the trolley car where it's like you pull it to go towards yourself, or you pull it to go towards the 5 other people. She pulled it real hard to go to the 5 other people. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of arrests made after this is all said and done.
But that's a big question in ethics. So like, no one knows what's the right answer. Philosophers still debate that trolley car problem. A lot of us have seen a good, the good place. That's a whole thing that they talk about. That's a big thing in philosophy, is like, do you put the trolley car towards the 5 or the 1? So yeah, we're laughing saying, hey, she did that, but what would you do? You know, when it's your own life on the line, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not saying she's right. I'm not saying she's wrong either. I'm posing a very broad ethical and philosophical question
of course. I'd say my answer would be the first thing I would do is not be an aid to a drug kingpin. That's the choice I'll make.
Oh, come on, Brandon. You don't want to find yourself a nice drug kingpin or queen pin?
Queen pin, there we go.
I live out here in the New Jersey mountains these days. There's just bears. That's all I have.
I might have a really easy time finding a mobster out here, but it doesn't mean that they're a kingpin of any sort.
Oh man. Well, 3 years, and she's going to prison in Colorado. Oh no, her husband's in Colorado.
Her husband's in Colorado.
Isn't that crazy? A drug kingpin is in Colorado of all states.
Hey, you know, there's some very, very high security prisons out there.
Dude, I was going to say he's probably in Colorado because there's a lot of nothing.
Yeah, all that space. You know, it's all that space. You can tuck things in between and behind mountains.
But doesn't that also mean I could go buy land right next to the prison and help him escape next? Not saying I'm doing that. Okay, guys, don't arrest me. This isn't a conspiracy theory.
On next week's Morning Buzz.
Barnett was arrested for helping El Chapo escape.
Oh man.
Heard it here first.
Not a conspiracy. FBI man.
No, we're only going to be on the Morning Buzz behind the microphone, not on the other side. Okay.
Agreed.
No, I don't want to see anyone's name in the news unless it's for a good thing.
Yeah, we always say 12. Don't be a full screen.
I love that. That's good advice. And
don't be a full screen.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back shortly. And we are back. Let's talk about what's trending right now with Gabby Lutz. Thank goodness we have her, because in the chat it was blowing up that the rest of us alumni are not that trendy. So Gabby, please take it away. Spill the tea. Share some news.
It's a good thing I'm here then, you know? So what is trending right now? Let's talk about it. So first off, Spotify Wrapped, guys. Currently, everyone is awaiting their Spotify Wrapped. And just like the past few years, more people are more excited for this than they are for the Grammys. In case you're wondering what Spotify Wrapped is, it is when Spotify takes everything you have listened to in the past year and shows you what you've been frequenting most. Everybody's Wrapped should be coming out shortly, and even as soon as this weekend. But we're not really sure, as the Spotify Twitter just tweets about it, but they don't actually release the date and time of when your Wrapped will come out. It's part of the appeal, guys. But typically it does come out the first week of December, so we should be on the lookout for it, as it is December 1st. And the jerk.
Tell you what. Oh, sorry. I was just
you're good. You're good.
Late Spotify adopter here. This will be my first year getting a Wrapped, but it's going to be only for like
Brandon,
3 months worth of music.
What are we doing here? Your first time getting one?
Listen,
I don't use Spotify.
What?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
What is happening?
Are we going to expose any
Listen.
yours, Gabby and Brendan?
This is the problem. We don't know what Spotify Wrapped is because we barely know what Spotify is. So that's the problem.
We could expose mine next week. Very nervous, super nervous. Because, you know, what's funny about Spotify Wrapped is that nobody ever really knows what's going to be on their thing. Like last year, mine said I was in the top 0.5% of Ariana Grande's listeners. And I was like, I know for a fact I am not in Ariana Grande's top 0.5 listeners. Not that I don't like her. And not that I don't listen to her.
You don't like her that much.
I'm like, my whole playlist is not Ariana Grande. I don't know how that happened, but it is. So a lot of things are unexpected and you never know what's going to come up on it. So it's super exciting for people.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it definitely.
And also sounds like good fodder to make fun of your friends.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I have a question though for you guys. What do you guys listen to then?
Well, now I use Spotify, and previously I was using Apple Music for a while. But I mean, back when I was sitting in that chair, I had like, I don't know, 9,000 MP3s on my computer. I still have them. And I would just play them straight off my computer. And Oh man, it was wild. I
You're
remember it
dating us,
taking-
Brandon. You're dating us. Stop.
Listen, when the station moved over from the student center, this is before it's even in its current spot. They had the CDs they were throwing away, and I took like probably thousands of CDs and just burned them onto
Do
my
you remember
computer
how much
before they
time
threw them away.
we spent taping those CDs to the wall in the office?
Very long time.
That was my pet project. I led the charge on that. We spent
I still have the
hours.
one with the waffle somewhere. I stole that one.
I love that. That was a good one. And I remember exactly what you're talking about. And that's how much time I spent looking at those CDs.
I use Pandora Radio. I'm probably the only person who still uses Pandora Radio, but that's
No,
because
I do too.
I can't make a
So.
decision. So I say, okay, I want to listen to Dirty Heads, and they'll play everything that has anything to do with them. And you just kind of sit back and let the algorithm do its thing. You don't think about it.
I do the same thing when I listen to music. My fiance makes fun of me all the time. I don't actively listen to music. And I think it's because he's a musician. So literally during the day, his studio is right next to my office. I'm constantly hearing him making music that like, I need some quiet.
That'll do it to you, won't it?
Oh yeah.
For sure. So let's move on to the next thing in trending, which is the jerk, which might come back to you guys a little bit better. As for something that's very recent in the TikTok world, it's actually something from before the app's time, but it's making a comeback, and it's the dance, the jerk. And it's being done all over the app. Many users are creating videos with the original song of themselves after either successfully doing the jerk or trying to figure it out and failing. As it's always said, history repeats itself, and it's being proven right here as Gen Z tries to figure out how to do this dance. They're struggling. We're struggling. It's fine. Sometimes I think I can do it. Sometimes I can't.
The three
The
of us are so
jerk.
old, we know what the jerk is, but we don't know what TikTok is.
I use TikTok,
Same.
but like only to look at funny content.
Yeah.
I posted for like a minute and then I was like, I'm too old for this. And then I was like, I have a friend though, actually also an alum from WMSD and Montclair, who is blowing up on TikTok right now, has over 130,000 followers on the app.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Amelia Del Barro.
Okay.
She posts about cheese. She just takes videos cutting cheese in half and talking to her followers about what the cheese is. And 130,000 people follow her for that. So that's cool.
Maybe she should do the jerk on a cheese wheel.
That would be
I'm gonna
the
suggest
perfect
it.
idea.
I'm gonna suggest it when I
Please
see her
do.
this weekend.
That would be really
I-
complicated too.
Oh man.
Yeah, it would. I really can't believe this dance is coming back. I can do the jerk.
Oh,
I'm
And
not
you
going
know-
to, but I can.
no
I
proof.
can.
You
We're
have no
literally on
proof.
camera right now. Can you show us?
Brandon's got
No,
no
no.
proof.
Fact or
He could
fact
be
or fact?
lying to us
He's
right
over here
now.
like, it's radio. I don't need to show it, but you do.
Yeah,
you do need to show it to those who
exactly.
can see.
Look, I'm doing it right now. Can't you
Are
see?
you? No, you can't.
The Facebook
No, but
Live viewers are very
this is-
disturbed right now.
I'm sure.
This is bringing me back to like middle school dances and like high school homecoming, where people would do these like the jerk and the stanky leg. Oh man.
Oh, wow.
Mm, That's a stanky leg.
No.
Yeah.
It came out in
Oh yeah.
2010. I just quick Google. 2010 was the first time we saw the jerk.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So I was in grade 10 then.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
Wow.
high school
Yeah.
for me.
Okay. I don't even know what year I would have been. It was in
Yeah.
2010.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what I was doing.
I don't
Oh.
even want to know. I
Maybe I was
don't.
playing
I was like
Pokemon.
9.
To be fair, Isaiah, I was playing
elementary
Pokemon
school.
too.
You're still playing Pokemon?
Oh yeah, still am.
Oh, no shame about it. We got to collect them all, man.
No shame.
Every single, it's got to be like 900 at this point. Is it physically possible to collect them all these days?
It might be.
Well, you gotta catch them all.
I mean, they say I have to, but can I?
Can you? I don't know. Ask Pokemon Go. Let me know. Okay. All right. So my last thing, if you guys didn't really know too much about TikTok, you probably won't know about Joshua Bassett. If you do, and you watch like High School Musical, the musical series,
Absolutely not. Okay, no.
Okay, yeah.
But I know Olivia Rodrigo's
Yes.
whole thing with that.
this is the whole Olivia Rodrigo stuff. Okay.
There we go.
Joshua Bassett. So to finish up basically on this trends segment, If you were somebody who was listening to Olivia Rodrigo Sour for a good portion of this year, it's time to keep your ears out again because her ex, Joshua Bassett, is releasing music soon. On December 3rd, to be exact, Bassett will be releasing 3 songs titled Crisis, Secret, and Set Me Free. One clip of one of the songs, Set Me Free, has gone kind of viral on TikTok. Once again, everything goes viral on TikTok, as it sounds like it's going to be about the hate he got from when Olivia released her album, because everybody was attacking Josh at that time. Many fans have already started to speak on the topic again, so I wouldn't be shocked personally if everyone starts to spiral around with different theories and all once the song is fully released. So basically, if you followed Olivia's album Sour, it was basically all about her breakup with this guy, Joshua Bassett. She's never actually admitted it that it's about it, but it's kind of like the Taylor Swift thing where we all know
this literally sounds like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is one of her biggest inspirations. So there you go.
So this is Gen Z Taylor Swift. Like,
yes,
I mean, I'm not going to hate her for that.
No, yeah. And Josh, he's has a career of his own, not as big as Olivia's, but it's still pretty big, not as much as her. But this music, like, he's released it on some clips on TikTok, like I said, and fans are seeing that and they're like, he's gaslighting us. They're ready. They're like, he is 100% doing what he did to Olivia to us. He's gaslighting us.
Oh gosh. I mean, we have to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Just a little bit.
That's not how the internet works. We don't give him any benefit of the doubt.
We really
we cancel him immediately.
Okay, but as rational adults,
yeah,
sitting around a table here, like.
Oh, sorry. Let me
What
put my
is-
tie on really quick.
let me put on my elegant gown.
I would like to apologize for my previous statements in which I said we would cancel him.
But
No,
what's a
you-
2021 album release without some controversy, right? I mean,
Oh,
Very
true.
true.
it's how much of it's played up, how much of it's real. These guys are just pop. I'm sure part of it is, let's make a big deal out of everything so we could sell a lot of music. Let's get a lot of streams on Spotify, and but
well, definitely. For
Olivia
sure.
Rodrigo's album's great. Love that album.
I'm so glad that
Winning
we
there.
have fans of Olivia Rodrigo in the house right now.
She's so talented. But I actually have a completely unrelated question for you, Gabby, before
Yeah,
we
what's up?
lose you in the second hour. Are skinny jeans really out? Like, as
Okay.
Ain't nobody wearing skinny jeans, guys.
Whoa.
I'm wearing skinny jeans.
Okay, so here's the deal. Technically, in fashion trends, they're out. Do I still wear them sometimes? Yes, I do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're not something that you would see, like celebrity going after and wearing, but some of them still do.
Okay, but as like an almost 30-year-old woman who's been
You're
wearing skinny
fine.
jeans since she was like in 6th grade, like I'm
You're
fine,
fine.
right?
Yeah, you're totally fine.
I'm not trying to go by.
I've been wearing skinny jeans for a very long time, and though I do
I
go to
don't
the
love the
mom
mom
jean,
jean look on me. I don't love the mom jean look on me.
and that's okay. It's
I'm
not
trying.
for everybody. It's not for
I'm
everybody.
trying.
It's okay. It's okay. I literally had this conversation, like, granted, you're a lot younger than my mom, but I had this conversation with my mom.
My mom only wears skinny jeans.
And
My
my
mom only
mom-
wears skinny jeans.
Yeah, so does mine. And my mom goes, I can't wear the mom jeans. I am a mom. I can't be a mom wearing
Well,
mom
I wanted
jeans.
to ask Sam, as a new mother, what's your stance on mom jeans?
I don't want to go buy new jeans, so I'll be wearing my skinny jeans for
As
as
you
long as
should.
possible.
Yeah, I'm
Once
not
I
a
have an
hater of the
excuse
skinny
to leave
jeans.
my house again, I will be wearing my skinny jeans.
As
Jeans
you
are
should
too
be.
expensive to have to go buy new ones every time
Yeah.
the trend changes. Are low rise back? Because I heard low rise is back.
Oh, I will
Please
never
tell.
let them be back. I hate low rise.
Yeah, low rise can stay away. But
Yes,
skinny
no.
jeans, because then they fit in your boots real nice. You can cuff them and wear flats. Like, they're so much more
Yeah.
versatile than
And I-
baggy, like, boy pants. No.
I think people cancel them more than they should, because they're like,
Agreed.
oh, skinny jeans, but you're still wearing them sometimes.
Don't be
And they don't have to be
savage.
skin
Don't
tight.
fit in skinny jeans, okay?
I'm
Don't
not
you
saying they have to be
pretend that they
skin
don't fit.
tight, but they gotta be slim at the bottom so you can wear them with everything.
Of course, there's
Right.
all different. I wear all different types. Right now, I'm wearing flared jeans. Tomorrow, I might be wearing mom jeans. The next day, I might be wearing skinny. Let's switch it
Okay,
up a
this is
little
why
bit.
you do trends, and this is why Gabby does trends. Everyone, you heard it here. This is why Gabby handles the trends.
Yes,
Gabby
hi.
gets it.
Gabby
I'm
gets
taking,
it. Oh, I like that.
I'm taking away from this conversation that I should go buy some apple bottom jeans and boots with the furs.
Boots
Yes,
with
for
furs.
sure.
We were already talking about middle school dances.
Cool. We're good.
I think that's what you should do for sure.
Hey guys, as much as we could talk about jeans for probably another 3 hours or so, we do have to get to a break here at WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Morning Buzz Wednesday edition, and when we come back, hour 2, we're gonna get some more weird stories. Maybe we'll talk about jeans again. Who knows? But stay tuned. Hey guys, but before we get back into the actual show, this is the Morning Buzz Wednesday edition. Brandon, I had this question as well as Gabby as you return with your coffee here on the Morning Buzz. Do you drink your coffee black? How did you get it so fast? Was it a Keurig? I have so many questions, Brandon.
Listen, when you're a coffee addict such as myself, you have a nice coffee machine. All right. I have a Ninja coffee maker. Got a full pot every morning.
Nice. I have the
And
same one.
This is just a splash of oat milk, nothing else.
Ah, you lost me with the oat milk, man.
I'll
Come
drink
on, man,
I'll drink any alt milk. I won't drink anything. Oat, almond, coconut. I don't care as long as it's not cow.
I do not like oat milk at all.
So what do you like?
Well, if I'm having a coffee, I'll probably use whole milk or almond milk if I'm feeling I don't want to do the whole dairy thing today. But oat milk, I just can't do it.
Listen, I used to not think it was that good, but now it's like every morning it's got to be in there.
Well, maybe we'll talk about coffee in a couple minutes or so, but I'm going to give you guys the news here at 8 a.m. in the morning. So let's get to it. In Montclair, the Montclair Public Library will be kicking off a national search for a new director and bidding farewell to Peter Coyle, who has held the position since 2017. Board trustees recently announced Coyle will be resigning on December 10th, and he is the 16th director at the historic 128-year-old library. In New Jersey, a Monmouth County man has filed a lawsuit against the Middleton Township Board of Education and a former teacher, claiming he was sexually abused repeatedly from the ages 13 to 16 in the mid-1990s. The man, who is now 40, claims in court papers that a female language teacher at the Thompson Middle School engaged in lewd and inappropriate conduct and or sexual abuse and assault in violation of New Jersey laws. Now, in national news, New York City is now the first city in the nation to open 2 overdose prevention centers that will allow drug users to receive medical care and services to prevent drug overdose deaths. Now, we're going to go to the weather in Montclair, which is my least favorite part about any Morning Buzz show, is talking about the weather here in New Jersey, as we have a disgustingly cold one yet again with a high of 45 and a low of 30. But if I'm being honest, my bones, they just don't react to the cold as well as they should. So to me, it feels like negative 1,000 right here in New Jersey. We got 2 layers, a hoodie, a long sleeve, and a jacket for when I'm outdoors. But that is the weather expected here in New Jersey. Also, expect some sunlight today with occasional clouds. But that is the news report at 8 a.m. here on the Morning Buzz. My time is done, guys. Let's go on to sports.
Yeah,
well, we
can jump into sports.
Sportscaster.
I used to be the sports director. Hello, we are looking at the first female sports director at WMSC a few years ago. Let me scroll up to the sports segment, guys. I was not prepared for this, so bear with me. I'm a little rusty. Fun fact, I only knew about hockey before I became the sports director at WMSC. They put a lot of faith in me.
Hockey?
Back in the day. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't pronounce any of these names, guys.
Would you like me to do it? I can do it. Here we
go. Go ahead. You know what?
Do it, guys.
I'm gonna embarrass myself. Why don't you go for it?
Guys, it is a great time to be alive in the sports world. And first, we're gonna hit up the MLB as the Mets lost infielder Javier Baez to the Tigers as they finalized a 6-year, $140 million contract. Another loss on the other side of the city as Corey Kluber signed a 1-year deal with the Rays after spending last season with the Yankees. In the NBA, the Knicks and Nets playing in Brooklyn. The Nets take the W 112-110 after James Johnson free throws with 2.2 seconds left. Battle of New York, guys. Fun and exciting times to be a fan of basketball in New York. Over to hockey. Cat's favorite subject, the Islanders flyer PPD, and the Islanders still have COVID, and the Devils fell to the Sharks 5-2. Sharks is a fun name. Lastly, in football, the NFL gears up for Week 13 tomorrow night as the Dallas Cowboys head to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Cowboys' absentee list grows as they will be without head coach Mike McCarthy, who tested positive for COVID. However, rookie wide receiver CeeDee Lamb is expected to be back from concussion protocols. And In NCAA football news, it is time for conference championship weekend as the SEC's biggest matchup of the week will be Alabama versus Georgia. Who thought that would happen if you follow college? That's been a pretty revolving door of games here as Alabama takes on Georgia. But yeah, hey, Michigan's number 2, so that's cool. Anyways, that is your 8 a.m. sportscast, and I pronounced the names, I think, on point, guys.
Better than I would have done.
Great job.
Better than I would have done.
I've officially retired from the sportscasting report. Goodbye, everyone.
Well, speaking of sports, speaking of sports, that kind of brings us right into our next story here. We have a story about a high school basketball team that got an unexpected member in their group chat. So Vinny Tartaglia, player for the Notre Dame prep school basketball team in Michigan, said he was in charge of adding numbers to the team's group text, and he made a mistake while putting in one of the numbers. The group soon received a message from the owner of the wrong number who wrote, "Y'all meant to add me to this? You know who I am?" The number belonged to Sean Murphy Bunting, a Michigan native and cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champions. Murphy Bunting sent the students a selfie, but they were skeptical. And I would be skeptical too. Yeah, because anyone could just get a picture off Google, like, yeah, this is who I am. And then, they ended up FaceTiming him. Leonard Fortunet walked us through the locker room and showed us all the players. Teammate Nate Seaman said, Sean Murphy Bunting, Mike Evans, Levante Davis, Gronk, Richard Sherman. And that's when they all said, "Where's the GOAT?" Things couldn't get crazier, but there he was, Tom Brady. He appeared in the call and talked to them.
Imagine.
So, man, I've gotten like a wrong text before, like, "Hey, I'm going to the grocery store to get some orange juice. Do you need anything?" It's like, "Oh, sorry, you have the wrong number." And it's just a normal person. Imagine being one number off and the number that you put.
And I mean, anyone I'm texting about most of this stuff, I'd probably have their number saved in my phone. And I mean, it's super easy. Like, my fiance's name is Brandon. Do you know how easy it would be for me to text this Brandon instead of my Brandon versus all the other Brandons in my phone? Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, and that makes sense. At least I have Brendan Simanski's number, and it's probably very close to my fiance's number in my phone. But like, there's no way he just casually had this like all-star player in his phone. Like, he was typing in the numbers by hand and made a mistake.
Yeah, and they could have easily just like been like, "No, you got the wrong number," left the group chat, never said anything to the kids. But they got on the call. He walked them through the locker room.
He had fun with it. Yeah.
Listen, and let me tell you, Leonard Fortunet, he got me 44 points in fantasy this week. So he's
Brandon's like a little fantasy football player here.
Yeah, it was my first win in 8 weeks. So let's not get into it.
Okay. All right.
But he did take me to the W, so he's on the top of my list right now.
Do you guys have to do a punishment? I'm assuming you're probably in last place, Brandon. Not to bring up a bad point. But,
Not only am I in last place, I'm in last place by a wide margin.
What's the result for you losing? Are you just losing?
I was gonna say, do you get anything for losing? Like, what are you getting for losing?
Maybe I'll get like the first round draft pick next year, but probably not. And you know what? Honestly, it's my fault. I thought I was there for the draft. I logged in, and then I was like, wait, this isn't the account that I used last year. So I had to like scramble for like 30 to 40 minutes trying to figure that out while the draft was going on. Auto drafted.
You're lucky though, because I know some people who do fantasy football, whoever gets last normally have to do some very odd punishment. Like, I think I saw someone where they had to dress up in a dress or something and then just go out in public, and it was just more like public embarrassment thing. So maybe your friend group is a little nicer to you.
Yeah, no, thankfully I will not be dressing up in any, inflatable T-Rex costume or anything like that.
I would do that for fun. That doesn't sound like a punishment.
Well, I have another story coming up about punishment, if you guys are ready for it.
Oh boy.
Sure.
Oh boy.
I'm going to ask you guys a question at the end here, so bear with me. A North Korean teen was sentenced to 14 years in prison for watching 5 minutes of a film. So a 14-year-old student from North Korea was sentenced to 14 years of hard labor for watching 5 minutes of the South Korean movie Uncle. A source told Daily North Korea that the teenager was arrested 5 minutes after watching the movie. In legal material obtained by the newspaper, the punishment for those, quote, who have directly watched, listened to, or kept South Korean films, recordings, compilations, books, songs, paintings, and photos for more than 5 years and less than 15 years, end quote, is set as, quote, correctional labor. What movie would you be willing to do hard labor for? Go for it.
Oh, man. What movie would I be willing to do hard labor for?
This feels like a question from like Hot Ones. Like, why aren't we eating wings right now and discussing
That's
hard
my dream
labor?
is to be on that show.
Oh, I have no heat tolerance. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh, neither do I. I just want to know what it's like.
That's funny.
Near-death experience live on camera. Who else wouldn't want to do that?
This is a really
most
difficult
people.
question.
I don't think I'd be willing to
do.
I love movies. I'm a movie buff, but I don't think I would do hard labor for a film.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that either. But if I had to choose one, right?
Mhm.
If I had to, absolutely had to. I do a movie club with my friends. So we've been watching since quarantine began, last year. We've been doing a couple of movies every couple of weeks, getting together and talking about them. One of the best movies that we've seen through, watching that was this movie called Bound.
Okay.
Highly recommend. I think that's the movie I'm going to pick.
What's it about,
And
Brandon?
if
I need a quick synopsis of this movie.
Oh man. So there's a woman who's like in a relationship with this crime guy, and she falls in love with another woman, and then they're trying to basically take him out of the picture. It's very good.
Ooh,
It's very
juicy.
good.
Is it on Netflix?
I believe it's on Hulu. I might be wrong, but you can find it out there.
I got Google.
I got Google.
What about you, Kat? What movie, if you had to pick one, you can't.
I have to pick one. Well, I'm pretty boring and vanilla in my movie taste. My all-time favorite movie is Back to the Future. So, I mean, I guess if we're going for the easy layup here,
listen,
sports.
There's nothing wrong with a comfort movie.
That's the comfort movie. You'll notice if I started listing all my comfort movies, they all have to do with time travel. And it's weird. I'm not someone who's like, I love sci-fi and time. It just happens that like they all have to do with time travel, but in very like, because I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Like my graduation cap at Montclair said, "Party on, dudes." Like I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Time travel, again, not in the normal sci-fi way. We talk about time travel. Pleasantville, love the film Pleasantville. Again, that's a kitschy movie, not the typical way you think of time travel, but they go back into the 1950s. They all just happen to have time travel. So I don't know. That's a thing, I guess.
Listen, you know what we call that? A leitmotif.
A leitmotif. And I wonder if it has any synergy with my life. Maybe I'm missing something from my past. And we could get really existential about it if we want to.
We're getting here very deep on the Morning Buzz, everyone.
Always.
You know what's
Philosophy,
interesting
ethics.
enough? The movie that popped up in my head for some reason at first, and it's not even like my favorite movie, but it's This Is the End, which is the most, maybe it's because it's one of the most recent movies I've seen. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's
the one with Seth Rogen and
yeah, that one where they pretty much play themselves.
Seth Rogen is my celebrity crush. Of course
Wow, for real?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Shout out to Seth Rogen, I guess.
No, but I need to pop in real quick. Hi, I'm back.
Hi, Gabby.
And I love Seth Rogen as well. He
You
was
do?
in fact my screensaver for a while.
Even with
I
the
love it.
laugh?
Yes.
Yes,
Is
especially
that the
with
redeeming
laugh.
part? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he
Seth
was
Rogen and
definitely-
Paul Rudd are like my top two. And so Paul Rudd, Texas Man Alive, I was like, yes, someone finally gets it. Now I'm just waiting for Seth Rogen, which, no offense, Seth, will probably never happen. But like,
one day,
the loves of my life, my fiance and Seth Rogen.
as you should. Ryan Reynolds is the love of my life.
Ryan
Yes.
Reynolds.
Well, I'm a
Yeah.
Canadian, so of course I have to love me some Ryan
Oh.
Reynolds.
Very valid. Yes, of course.
That might be the
So,
biggest
you-
plot twist.
For you Seth Rogen fans, are you excited to see him play Donkey Kong in the Mario Brothers movie?
You know,
Let's
I'm not
go,
excited for that movie
guys.
at all.
That's great. No, honestly, no. Seth Rogen's
I don't
Sausage
think
Party,
anyone's ready for
though.
that.
I loved Sausage Party. No one loved Sausage
That
Party
movie
except
was
for
so
me.
I love that movie.
Good, me too. That's
It's
my sense of
funny.
humor,
So
though.
funny.
My fiance thought it was like the worst thing he'd ever seen, and I
Oh,
was like,
come
"This is
on.
amazing. Let me watch it on repeat."
It's such a mess that you have to love it.
I saw it in
That's basically
theaters.
what it is.
Me too.
It was great. I
I watched
still watch
children
it.
be walked out of the theater because the parents weren't paying attention to the rating.
Who let that happen?
That's
Come
so
on.
weird.
Ooh.
That's like
Dumbass.
I saw Ted in theaters. If anybody remembers
Love
Ted.
Ted.
I love it. I saw it as a child. I love it. It's
Yeah.
Ted
so
is a
good.
great movie.
It's like one of those like it's so bad and it's just so inappropriate that
Yep.
it's good.
Gabby and I
Yeah.
are kindred spirits, is what I just learned right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning throughout this process.
Brandon, you have to reveal your celebrity crush now.
Oh man, my celebrity crush.
You better not say, "Oh, I don't have one."
He's gonna say Scarlett
You know,
Johansson.
no, it's not. It's not Scarlett Johansson. You know,
Why not?
ScarJo. It's just not. You know, I think if I had to say someone, it would probably be Natalie Portman.
That's a good one.
That is a
Mhm.
good one.
That's a good
That's not most
one.
people's
That's
first choice,
fair.
but it's a good one.
All
No,
right,
I
Brandon.
like that
I'm a
because
big
it's not
Star
everyone's
Wars
first
fan.
choice.
Padme, you know.
I finally watched all the Star Wars movies during COVID. I don't know why it took me so long.
It did take you a long time.
Literally,
They've been
very
out for a
long
hot
time.
minute.
You know, just since the 80s.
Classic.
Okay.
You know, whatever.
Oh,
Hey
man.
guys, you know, since everyone's revealed their crush, I might as well reveal mine before we go into another break here on the Morning Buzz at WMC Upper Montclair Wednesday edition. Have you guys seen the show Money Heist at all?
I have been recommended the show, but I have not watched it myself.
Okay, first
Same.
off, firstly, I would like you guys to watch that show because it's a fantastic show on Netflix, in my personal opinion. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but go ahead. There's a character in it. I forgot her real name in real life, but the girl who plays Tokyo. Oh my gosh, perfect. And we're gonna leave it on that note.
Perfect note. Perfect
We're
note.
gonna go to a break, and we'll be right back. See you soon.
And we're back on the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My name is Brandon Simanski. I'm hosting this week with Kat Barnett for the WMSC Morning Buzz
Hello.
Alumni Week. Heyo, Alumni Week. We're going
That
to
was a
move
good
on to
one,
our
Brandon.
next story here. Ooh, yeah, thank you. You like that? Like that dance
Yeah.
move? Yeah, that's...
They
You
are
know,
raising
that-
the roof.
as the yeah, I was about to say, as the college kids would say nowadays, sheesh or something. I don't know.
Oh, Brandon, looks like we're gonna have to cut the show short today.
Oh,
Brandon's done.
so sorry. So
Get
sorry,
outta
everyone.
here.
Thank you. Oh man. Well, let me tell you, this next story is might be my favorite of the day. So a Turkish man has a nose so big it deserved a world record. Mehmet Ozurek, who was verified by Guinness World Records, now owns the record for the biggest nose. His nose was officially measured at 3.46 inches from the bridge to the tip, and he said his large proboscis was the cause of mockery when he was a child, but he came to see it as a benefit. This quote is pretty great. The man of a million sniffs had this to say. My friends used to call me Big Nose to upset me, but I took a look at myself, and that's when I looked in the mirror, I discovered myself. God made me like this, and there's nothing that can be done in this situation. I learned to live in peace with my physique. Listen.
Okay, so isn't a nose job something to be done? I'm not saying you should get a nose job. I'm not saying you should get a nose job. People have been, I hear nose job comments all the time. Whatever. I'm not saying you should get a nose job, but I am saying there is something to be done.
If he really wanted to do something about it, he could. Yes, he could do
I'm
something
not
about
saying
it.
he should. I'm saying if he
Right.
wanted to, he could.
Right.
But if he got the nose job, he wouldn't have the world record.
That's true. I mean, I have a measuring tape right here. I mean, my nose isn't that big, but like, do we want to like?
And you know, I find it interesting that he's from Turkey. You don't hear too much news out of Turkey, especially news like this, and it's fun, you know. Can you imagine now? It's almost 3.5 inches. When they say
Yeah.
from the bridge to the tip, are they going this way? I think they're going from like
I
your
think they're
eyebrows
going
to the tip of your
this
nose,
way, yeah.
right?
Yeah, mine's definitely
'Cause-
not that big.
If it was 3.5 inches like off the face, that would be like a Waluigi style nose, or like
Yes.
a Pinocchio
Well,
nose.
There's another really good quote in here, Brandon. I'm sorry. We gotta loop back to this quote. The Turkish man with the big nose said, quote, "I say there's a smell here. Other people say we don't smell that smell. I say you may not smell it, but I can. For example, I enter my house, I can immediately tell which dish is cooked." I mean,
Oh,
I wonder what it'd be like to
so
smell a
I
cinnamon
wonder
roll.
if
Oh my god.
Ooh. I wonder if there's correlation between smelling ability and the size of your nose. I mean, it makes sense, right? He's got more surface area on the inside of his nostrils.
he can do party tricks, including inflating a balloon with his nostrils. This man can inflate a balloon with his nostrils.
I think
That's absolutely
I think I'd pass
disgusting.
out. I think I would pass out. Yeah, and then you just got like a really nasty balloon after that.
He really went out of his way one day and was like, I think I could blow a balloon up with my nose.
I mean,
and then
But
did
that's
it.
how everything's done. How was cheese invented?
Yeah.
Think about all of this stuff. It all started with some really weird story, right?
and I mean, with
I'm
the
just gonna leave
schnoz
it all
like
with that.
If some new product comes out because of the balloon inflated by nose man, I'll buy it. That's leading to
There
some
we go.
sort of technological advancement.
once again,
Amazing.
absolutely disgusting.
It's
Wow.
very disgusting. But something that's
So,
concerning to me though, before you I hate to
Go
interrupt that.
ahead.
Is could you imagine the smell of walking into like a gym or a locker room that he has to
Oh,
deal
no.
with?
Oh,
Like imagine all the good smells,
I bet
right?
he
like
wears
dinner's
like a
cool.
nose strip.
He has
every
to.
time.
We put like a nose
Everywhere.
pin, you know. That's
he's
brutal.
got an eye patch, but just for his nose.
He might appreciate the masks. Actually,
Yeah, the
He
mask might be
probably
great
sort of
for him.
appreciates
Well,
them.
and this brings up another question. Can the mask fit over his nose, or does he need a special mask?
He probably needs a
He
special
probably has
mask.
to like enlarge the straps on the.
Yeah.
With the nose
Yeah,
that
he
big,
needs the adjustable kind.
Mhm,
he
sure.
needs a
exactly.
super mask.
Super mask.
Perfect. And I'm going to keep us moving along here to our next. This is our weird story segment of the show. So we're going to keep us moving to the next weird story. An Alabama woman takes down Walmart. Leslie Nurse, who was falsely arrested for shoplifting at a Walmart and then threatened by the company after her case was dismissed, has been awarded $2.1 million in damages. According to Nurse, she was stopped in November 2016. Oh, wow, this is a long time coming. Like, didn't you graduate from
Wow.
Montclair in 2016, Brandon?
Yeah, I did. I was taking
Just
finals
checking.
November 2016.
There we go. She was stopped in November 2016 when trying to leave a Walmart with groceries she had already paid for. She was using the self-checkout, but the scanning device froze. The workers didn't accept her explanation, and she was arrested for shoplifting. Her case was dismissed a year later, but then she received letters from a Florida law firm threatening a civil suit if she didn't pay $200 as a settlement. They wanted $200, and they ended up by having to pay her $2.1 million. That's
Karma.
amazing. That's amazing. I mean, Walmart can afford it.
Oh, Walmart can afford it.
Right. $200 as a settlement, according to her lawsuit. That is more than the cost of the groceries that she was accused of stealing, which again, she says she paid for, but the thing froze. Nurse said Walmart instructed the law firm to send letters and that she wasn't the only one receiving them. Wow.
Wow. And you know,
Defense
it's
attorneys for Walmart
crazy
said the
to
practice is
me.
legal in Alabama. That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that, you know, this probably happens all the time where people are falsely accused. They would rather just not deal with it. They pay the $200 or $100 or whatever it is, and they go on their way.
Yeah, the trial featured testimony that Walmart and other major retailers routinely use such settlements in states where laws allow it, and that Walmart made hundreds of millions of dollars this way in a 2-year period. So you're right. People are just like, well,
Jeez.
hundreds of millions off of $200. I mean, obviously everyone is not going to be $200, I don't think, but like, that's
Right.
It's small money. Even saying $1,000, it's pennies.
But you know, this is why you have to stand up for yourself. Good on this woman, Leslie. She went after what she knew was right. And look at her. Now she's $2.1 million richer. And she got
Yeah.
groceries.
Yeah. And she
And
got
she
a
did-
W over
she-
Walmart, guys.
She did like, you know, get arrested
Paid
and
for
like,
her
had to go
groceries.
through a
She,
bunch of
and she
really
paid for her
terrible
groceries
stuff.
too. It's
but-
not even like she got groceries, guys. She paid for her groceries.
Bills are
Yeah.
paid. Bills are certainly paid this month for this lady.
Yo, this is also though, this is from 2016. You know, self-checkout's come a long way. But in 2016, self-checkout was still like, you know, not everyone's using it yet. If they do, there's a
I
couple of
still
kiosks
hate
that barely
self-checkout
work.
most of the time.
You hate self-checkout?
Well, if you don't scan it correctly, you are standing there. And then I moved, so there's not ShopRite here, but the ShopRite by me before I moved here in Jersey, like everything you'd scan, it'd be like, you need an attendant. I'm like, why am I at self-checkout if it keeps flashing that I need an attendant to come over? So like I've given up. The whole point is that I don't want to talk to people. Like,
I don't
like
know,
you.
Kat.
Like, go away.
Self-checkout, maybe it's been a while since you used one in New Jersey at least, but they're pretty good these days. you
I mean,
know?
I used one the other day in California. I travel a lot for work. I used one the other day in California, and it was like a non-issue. But again, this specific ShopRite in New Jersey like ruined it for me.
Maybe they were
Constantly.
messing with you.
You need an attendant.
specifically.
You need an attendant. I
No,
don't.
that
There's
happened to me one
definitely
time at
been
Stop and
times
Shop.
where, yeah, oh yeah, it's happened to me several times. I mean, you go to the store, you've got a lot of times when you're going to self checkout, right? You maybe just have a couple things. You even grab a basket. You're just like running in, running out, and then you're like expecting to go, and you're like, okay, scan, scan, scan. It's like, please stop scanning and put the first item in the bagging area.
Yes,
Like, no.
and then it freaks
And at
I
that
out.
just
point,
want to
you
hold
scan.
it. I just want to go.
At that point, you
Especially
scan
in
the whole
states
cart.
now where like you have to pay for bags too. Like a lot of people are trying not to use bags, and then the thing is freaking out because it's not in the bagging area. And it's just like, but we're not trying to pay for those bags, dude.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
See, this is once again, we are noticing a pattern of problems with the robots. Hour one had it, hour two had it. We have to
Listen,
stop
I'm with
the
you.
robots.
We do have to stop the robots.
Not
Sick and tired.
self-checkout though.
Well-
I don't like dealing with the cashiers.
I feel you.
I don't like people. No, I'm not a people person.
As a former
so-
cashier, I'm glad everyone's using self-checkout. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Exactly.
actually, same. I used to be a cashier at Kohl's back in the day. Talk about a throwback. That was like 2011.
At least it
you
wasn't
know,
a Kmart.
when
at least
Gabby
that
was in
Kohl's still
elementary
exists.
school.
Yes, of course. Maybe middle school at that time. Let's.
Okay. In middle school still. Like I feel old.
Wow, I love Kohl's. I'm not gonna lie.
You got
do
Kohl's
I
like
cash
can't go in
left.
there anymore. I can't go in there anymore because
because
I
you've worked
there.
there.
And,
Yeah.
right,
I used to work
but
there too as well.
Flashbacks.
There we go. Yeah, major flashbacks.
Wow. Look at everybody.
Hey
Well,
guys, Netflix
moving
is
on
popping.
to our
Netflix is
go ahead.
popping.
Yeah, our last story
No,
here.
Brandon, please
Dwayne "The Rock"
take it
Johnson.
away.
Well, I will, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he's got a brand new record for Netflix. His latest film, Red Notice, is now the most watched movie in Netflix history. It's brought in 328.8 million viewing hours as reported by Netflix, which means the previous record held by Sandra Bullock's Bird Box in 2018 has been shattered.
Am I the
Currently,
only person
50% of
who
all
didn't watch Bird Box? Because
You're not missing out on much, Kat.
It was
I didn't
interesting,
watch
but
it
like,
either.
Very average.
Listen, gonna be honest, not really a Sandra Bullock fan.
wow.
Did you watch Red Notice? So, Brandon.
No.
Because he
I did
Gabby,
hates
not.
did
Sandra
you?
Bullock.
You're
No,
a Ryan Reynolds fan.
I know
so
I
have you
am,
watched
and
Red
I
Notice?
haven't had the chance, and I keep telling myself I need to watch it. Maybe I'll do it tonight just to get it out of the way. And just
So
do it.
I am a little biased. My agency does work for Netflix, and I did work on marketing campaigns for Red Notice. So of course I did watch it.
Oh.
Big time.
Amazing, like amazing.
Well,
So
the main
I-
characters are all like big stars, so I mean.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Kat,
great.
is this the greatest movie ever that we should all watch as soon as possible?
I mean, it's fantastic. I think it's really funny. It depends on your sense of humor. Like, I mean, not everyone has that Ryan Reynolds kind of sense of humor, you know, because I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds just plays himself in movies at this point.
Like The
for
Rock.
sure.
I'm pretty sure that's just right. I'm pretty sure that's just like who they are. I thought it was really funny. I thought the twists were really good. I thought all this stuff, and working with Netflix is just such a blast too. We did some really creative things that I've never done before in marketing that made it really exciting to work on. So,
well, I have to say this fact: 50% of all of Netflix subscribers around the world have viewed Red Notice, and
that's
a quick
huge.
Google led me to find that there are 209 million subscribers on Netflix currently, as of last year, and that's like 104 million people who've seen this movie.
So they did this in 18 days. Bird Box did it in 4 weeks.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of an accomplishment right there.
Yeah,
but again,
I would say so.
I mean, Sandra Bullock is a superstar, but like
The Rock,
Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot,
former
all in the top
WWE
bills.
champion, The Rock, star
The
of Fast and
Rock?
Furious movies, The Rock,
Dwayne?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Did you
can
guys
smell
see
what
on
he's
his
cooking.
Twitter that he was doing like it was like hashtag 12 days of Red Notice or something like that, and he was calling himself Dwanta because he was like giving stuff away. So he was, like,
Dwanta.
I gotta see this.
The Rock
Oh
just
my
delivering, guys.
gosh.
I was cracking up. I thought it was great marketing. The Rock's amazing. And then he has this energy drink too, that he came out with. And apparently it's really good. I've been meaning to go check it out.
And
The
the tequila.
DJ I was with at the event that I was working for Red Notice was actually drinking it. And I was like, that's really funny. Like, that's Dwayne Johnson's energy drink, right? And he's like, no, I actually didn't realize that. So it was really funny. He's there spinning and drinking a Zoa energy drink, not realizing the correlation.
So I have in
That's
fact
awesome.
found the tweet.
The tweet is
Oh.
okay.
Yes.
He says, "Here comes Dwanta Claus. Here comes Dwanta Claus." That's amazing.
Did you guys think I
Wow.
made this up? Do you think I'm coming here like lying?
No,
Did
it's
you
just like
have
it's
to
good to
fact check
know.
me?
I had to see it for myself.
You gotta
That's
see
like
it to
one of those
believe it,
things
you
that is
know?
like, I gotta see this. Wow.
Wow. Dwayne, I hope Dwanta brings me something good for Christmas.
So,
A brand new
for
Fast
those
and
of you
Furious
who
movie.
guys
No.
don't know what the
Family.
film's about, Red Notice tells the story of an FBI profiler played by Johnson who must partner with the world's greatest art thief, Reynolds, in a daring heist in order to catch a most wanted criminal played by Gal Gadot. Reynolds and Gadot are basically like rival art thieves. And so Dwayne
Interesting.
Johnson and Ryan Reynolds pair up to try and and it's lots of twists, really campy. I mean, I loved the camp. Bring on the camp when it comes to
Yeah.
these like kind of action comedy things.
And
No, I really
addition
gotta
to
get on it.
in addition to Netflix, this film was also released in theaters last weekend. So if you want to go out to the movie theater and see it, you have that option as well.
I think it'd be great on a
Cool.
big screen. I think
Yeah.
it'd be great on a big screen.
Well, a lot of action movies are a lot better on big screen because they're literally made for big screen.
Yeah, well, I mean, we went and obviously we could have watched Dune on
Ugh.
at home. We went, and of course, we had to go see that in theaters. There's no way that was meant to be seen on, on our television.
I got problems with Dune.
Why do you
Yeah, I
have
was
problems?
about to
Actually,
say,
I don't
that
even
was a
call it
very,
Dune. I'm
very
sorry. I pronounce it
guttural
Dune.
reaction.
You pronounced it Dune.
I got so bored in that movie. Like, I gave it a solid 35 minutes. As I cannot do this. I saw
Really?
Timothy Chalamet walk around for a solid like 40 minutes just talking. I couldn't take
Well,
it
it was
anymore.
interesting to me how little Zendaya was in the movie.
Exactly.
I heard
Considering
that.
she was at all of the press stuff. Like, I thought she was going to be, and like, I understand they're totally setting it up for the second film where she's going to be much more involved, but I was expecting her to like be there. And then every time that like she lasted 5 seconds on the screen, I was like, what is going on? So
I
think it
have
was well
not
done.
seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. My friends all really liked it. They said the only thing they didn't like was the music. And I'm not a big fan of Timothy Chandelier.
Facts.
So I just I'll see it eventually. When it comes to, I think it's on
You
HBO Max now, so maybe I'll check.
I think it's on HBO Max. It's a long one, so and just be prepared to just like sit there, maybe eat some popcorn, maybe eat dinner.
I started reading the
dinner
book,
and popcorn.
so like I'm kind of interested in it, but I kind of want to finish.
I'm the
book
same way.
first.
It's on my must. I try not to watch movies without reading the book first, and I'm like a real stickler about it. It drives my fiance nuts. He's like, please, like, shut up. You don't need to read every book. So we saw Dune, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen the book, and I was like getting all type A about it. So it's on my to read list, but like it's not usually my type of thing. Like I saw it in the theaters because it's his type of thing, but now I like want to read the book. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I read the Game of Thrones novels, and that's not usually my kind of thing either. So
I'm gonna burn every copy of that book, guys. Dune shall never be seen by my eyes ever again.
It's
No,
anti-Dune over here.
I haven't even seen it because I was like, oh, maybe I'll see it. I love Zendaya. And then everybody's like, well, she's barely in it. And I was like, well, I don't really like Timothy Chalamet. So I was like, why would I go and see it? So I don't know. And this
Yeah,
is just
Timothy
confirming that I don't want
Charmander
to
is
see
really
it.
the only one that I know.
I'm gonna start calling him Timothy Champion Sportswear.
Oh, that was good. I like that one.
It took me too long to come up with it.
It's okay.
I've been sitting here this whole time not saying his name so I could come up with something to like compete with you guys.
We appreciate the respect to the bit.
Yeah.
Before we go to our break, guys, I will say, Brandon, you'll probably appreciate this. When I first started here on the Buzz, we would always end the show with a random Pokemon question for some reason. So
Okay.
maybe we'll bring it back today. I'll try to think of something.
All right.
Hopefully you guys also have played this, I'd say at least 2 minutes of Pokemon. Otherwise that segment's gonna tank. But we're gonna come back, and when we come back, guys, we're gonna talk about you guys as what you're doing since your Morning Buzz endings. We'll do all that when we come back and enjoy the little commercial break we got going on. Oh my gosh, we are back here on the Morning Buzz. Guys, it's a very exciting time to be alive these days. So exciting because we are here with two Morning Buzz legends, icons, originators, trendsetters, anything you want to describe in a good way, that's who they are. Brandon and Kat are here. They hosted the first 2 hours of the show, and it's been great. It's been fun. But now we're gonna interview you guys a little bit.
Oh goodness.
So if you guys want to, go back and forth, that works. I'm just gonna ask a question. What have you guys been doing since your time here at the Morning Buzz?
Brandon, take it away. You can go first.
Oh, I was gonna say. Okay. Well,
very polite, guys.
We haven't lost our banter.
No,
we have not talked like this in this forum since we did the Morning Buzz together. I was actually really nervous that it was going to be some kind of like awkward, like we don't know how to do. And I mean, I personally think it's like we haven't lost. It's like we never stopped.
It's been great.
I don't know. You guys,
the viewers are loving it.
I think you guys are fantastic.
Well, thank you. Well, after I left Montclair, I graduated at the end of 2016. Technically, 2017 is when I walked, but I was done with school in 2016. I started working at NBC Universal in February of 2017, and I've been there ever since. I've worked in 4 or 5 different departments and doing different things. Right now, I'm a media operations manager. I build out like transcoders for video files, and do inbound and outbound onboarding for a lot of our shows and clients. So it's really cool. Yeah. Just chugging away. And I like to fish a lot too. So I've been out there fishing a lot this year, which is cool. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, just living life. I moved to a beautiful Vernon, New Jersey. If you've ever been to Mountain Creek, you've been to my house. I can see the ski lift from here.
That's cool though. Like that's a great area.
Yeah, so I'm dying for snow. If it would just get a little bit colder.
Oh, Brandon, what are you doing? What are we doing here?
Listen, I need like a fresh 18 inches. So
Why are you, Brandon?
Isaiah is such a hater. Okay,
Brandon, you're muted again. Snow?
No.
Why are you such a hater?
I hate the snow.
You hate a lot of
things. Well,
you should leave New Jersey then.
I've been trying.
Yeah,
but
I was about to say.
Me back.
Kat went to the anti-snow land.
Well, it's funny that I did that because I am actually like a big winter person. Like I prefer the cold to the heat. Or at least I did until this summer. It was we moved here in March, so we had our first summer here, like basically right after we moved, and it was getting up to 115, I think, at the height of the summer, 115. And turns out I loved it. I got a tan naturally for the first time in my, actually, I never even fake tanned. Like I got a tan. I went home to visit my friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, we've never seen you so crispy. This is amazing. Sorry, my cat is joining the call. This is what he does. He spends all day on my desk. He's been sleeping on the couch because it is 5:45 a.m. here. His name is Mickey. He's actually also from New Jersey. We adopted him after we got here, but
my guy Mickey.
Get out of the camera.
Oh, we might have to censor that part. Too hot.
This is what he does. Like I'm on calls with clients, and it's just whatever. So I love the heat. Turns out I won't go in the pool if it's under 100 degrees because I don't need the pool if it's under 100 degrees. And like it's a really good life. We're gonna start house hunting early next year. So, we're doing all that.
It's always fun.
Stuff.
Are you gonna be on the show House Hunters?
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't like no.
You don't like HGTV, the Property Brothers?
No.
More of a fixer-upper guy.
A fixer-upper.
So, to tell you guys what I guess I've been up to. So I finished at Montclair exactly a year before Brandon. So technically it was the end of 2015, but I didn't walk until 2016. And I actually started interning at my current company, my last semester of college. So I actually stepped away from the radio station because I finished in 3.5 years. So I stepped away from the radio station that last semester to really focus on like internships and like, what am I doing with my life? And then I accidentally never left. They offered me a job. At first I was a little nervous. A lot of people were calling me like a sellout because I was a TV major, and now all of a sudden I have a desk job and everyone's like, you're a sellout. But like, guys, I work with Netflix. Guys, like I
That's
work
pretty
with
funny of you, I'd say.
Like, I mean, I honestly think it's super in line. It's all entertainment. We have major entertainment clients. So it's a lot of fun. And I have been there 6.5 years, including my internship. And it's great. I'm now the senior director of marketing and media strategy. So I do a lot of media buying. I do a lot of digital media buying, which is different than traditional media buying. I work with influencers. I travel to events. This Red Notice thing I was mentioning, we worked with tailgates at 5 different schools across the country that are red. And we did branded tailgate trailers. We're giving out swag and had Jenga and cornhole. So I went to Cincinnati for the first time to go and be at that event. So like, there's always really cool stuff going on, and it keeps me on my toes. And I like that I'm not doing the same thing every day. And they let me move to Vegas. I work East Coast hours from the West Coast. So my workday starts at 6:30 a.m. every day, but I'm done by 3. And during the summer when it's over 100 degrees, that means I can go in the pool, or I could go and, I can go shopping and all this stuff that I didn't have when I, did the East Coast commute to Manhattan every day thing.
The biggest relief is now, for me at least, is that you don't have to deal with any kind of cold weather. You get Las Vegas. I mean, you should brag about that a little bit more.
I mean, it gets cold, like it's gonna be in the 30s at night, but like that's when no one's out, because we're in the middle of the desert, so it does get cold overnight. And like in the month of December, typically the average temperature is only in the high 50s, but like that's as cold as it gets during the
I rescind my
awake
statements,
hours.
Kat. Don't brag about it.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. But
Still
I mean,
too
like
cold.
I'm going back to New Jersey next week, and I'm really not looking forward to that.
Yeah,
it's cold here.
It was snowing here yesterday.
It was.
Right.
And I'm sure Brandon was very happy about it.
I was stoked. I was like, let's go. More of it, please.
You two are in such different areas. Like he's in the cold, you're in Vegas.
Well, it was so funny. Like you guys hit me up about doing this, and I was like, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. for this, right? Like am I really gonna commit to waking up at? And then they were like, well, Brandon's doing it, and like Sam's gonna be there, and I was like, I can't let them do it without me. Like selfishly, I was like, I'm gonna have I can't. Like
Can't
that's
miss
not
it.
cool. Like I can't not do it. So like, I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night. I woke up at 3 a.m. It's 5:49 right now.
Oh,
Nice.
Wait, could you tell? Could you guys not tell that I started this thing at 4 a.m.?
Literally could not.
No.
You have amazing
Kat,
energy.
you've been killing it.
Well, and
I mean,
this brings it back to when Kat and I first started doing the show. It was 3 hours, not 2. We used to do from the 6 a.m. hour to 9.
Wow.
So we would get up I lived in the village, or I lived in Sinatra at the time, and the shuttles didn't run yet, so I would always have to walk all the way to the studio.
I mean, I didn't live that
That's
far.
pain.
I think I was in Blanton at that time. And
That's
yeah,
less
I mean,
pain.
still it was cold and it was dark. I remember I would take selfies in like the pitch black darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
me
and
when I walk
Dunkin'
here,
Dunkin'
yeah.
wasn't even open yet. Like we would
Oh my
go to the
gosh,
show and I couldn't
no.
even have coffee because Dunkin' wasn't open.
Doing the morning buzz is what
Shame.
started my caffeine addiction 100%. I don't think I was
I
addicted to caffeine
think that's
until after we
true.
started
That's a good
doing
call.
this.
You guys might
It
be
was a
right.
commitment.
I've noticed a lot of the new freshmen that have started here might have a bigger addiction than you guys, because they're down in like 2 monsters before the show even starts. I don't know how it's
I mean,
physically
that's
possible.
totally my
Fact on
energy.
that.
I switch off. Some days I do, and this is how you know that like I'm not a real adult yet. Is some days I'm doing Red Bull and some days I'm doing coffee. But yeah.
No, I get
I can't
that.
do the energy drinks in the morning.
Nah,
Oh, I love
No.
energy drinks.
it's coffee or nothing, pretty much.
It's a
No,
different kind
coffee
of
cannot.
buzz for me though. So it depends on the type of energy I need for the day. If I know work's gonna be rough, I think I'd rather drink an energy drink than a coffee.
Coffee's like
Just
a
because
nice.
it gets me on like high alert.
I feel like coffee is like a tame energy, whereas like an energy drink is
Yes.
just like a punch in the face, you know?
Have you
the
had
other
espresso
day-
before?
Oh, so
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
it's not.
So I'm an
Oh.
espresso machine, and for a minute I didn't realize I was making the espresso pods. I thought I was making my normal coffee pods. I didn't realize, and I was like, "Why is my machine not working?" So I'd run it through like 3 times, and then I realized that I was drinking triple espressos by accident. And so for like a month, my heart rate was just like all the time, and I was like, "What is going on? Why is this coffee machine not working?" And I realized I was drinking espresso instead of normal coffee.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane. That's like
I
when
went to the
people
office,
would come
like-
to Dunkin' and order like
Yeah.
4 shots of espresso in their Americano, and I'm like, just get espresso. It's not an Americano anymore.
Right. And I mean, I love dirty chai lattes. Like, please, let's put espresso in my chai tea, which I think is okay. It's not like putting espresso in coffee, I guess.
Hey guys, I love coffee. But
Okay.
I want to know more about your guys' time here at the Morning Buzz. What was that like? Tell us some of your best memories, the highlights, everything in between.
Man, I mean, we started the Morning Buzz way back. I mean, we were the first co-hosts, and we had
What
a
year
couple
was it?
of news-
2014?
I think 2014 it must have been either 14 or 15.
Well,
But
I graduated.
I
I
mean,
think it was.
yeah, so it must have been 14. And it was a really small team. It was Juan producing for us, and it was me and you, and we had like 2 or 3 newscasters. We only did it 1 day a week. It wasn't the 5-day a week format yet. And we just had a ton of fun, and then it just grew and grew from there. And after Kat
In
left,
the same way, we were
started-
joking about everything. Like that's what we did then too. Everything. It was meant to be fun. What was up? What was our slogan? Get up with us or something like that. And we were like, and we did all these photo shoots.
Yes,
and that's
get
what you
up
guys.
with us. Yeah.
And that's what you guys saw on the promo photo that WMSC shared on Facebook. Brent and I did all these photo shoots, like us in our PJs, pretending we're tired, drinking coffee, us in suits, like in a power stance, like drinking our coffee.
My hair is just a little bit different from those pictures. I'm just a little bit,
You're
Your hair's
edgier
also
now.
slightly longer, yes.
It's actually
just a
funny.
little
I
bit.
looked at those photos and I was skinnier in college, which tracks, honestly. But like besides that, I looked the same. My hair was the same. I was like, oh my gosh, because I change my hair all the time. Brandon, you might remember that. Like I would be like, I'm a redhead. Oh, I have a pixie cut now. Oops, now I'm a brunette. Oh, now I look like Draco Malfoy with like platinum blonde hair. Like, oops. But my hair in those promo photos is exactly the same it is now. And so that's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, after you had graduated, I hosted with Sam, I hosted with Elena, I think I hosted with Sandy Williams for a little bit. It was just so much fun, and it was always something I looked forward to. And, I had my own show a couple of different times. I think I had Whatever Wednesdays and Manic Mondays. I was really bad at naming my show. If you couldn't.
So that's
just
funny.
like
I didn't do my own show. So I'm not bashing anyone, but like, so I went to one of the few high schools in the state that has its own radio station. So I got certified to be on air and to operate the board and stuff in high school. And in theory, my certification should have crossed over to college because of the length of time. And WMSC was like, sorry, you need to get certified again. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I already did it. I'm not doing it again. So I actually never got like recertified by WMSC. So I could never run the board. So I could never have my own show. So whatever. So I always just tagged along to other people's shows and would show up and be like, hey, I'm your host now, which was just totally my MO. And I don't want to say I'm lazy, but I guess I didn't want to do the same thing again. So I just didn't. But it was terrible. So in high school, I insisted, talking about bad names, I insisted that my radio show was called The Litter Box.
Because you're a cat.
That's so good.
See,
And I was
that.
like, we're gonna just talk smack about things because that's what I do. So it was called The Litter Box. And
Oh, I love that.
That's fun.
That's what I did in high school. Where I was the news director at my high school radio station, and then I had this like kind of like, I'm not getting certified again. So like that's why I didn't do WMSC my freshman year, because I was kind of salty about it. So then when I did join, they're like, oh, you have all this experience already? Here, you're the news director. And I was like, bet.
Okay.
Like literally day 3, I was now in charge. I was co-news director with Caitlin Schofel. And then they moved me over to sports. And I was like, you guys know I only know hockey, right? And they're like, you'll learn. And all of a sudden I'm covering basketball and I'm covering football. And I have a team going to Michigan to do broadcasts. And like, it was really cool, but I was just doing everything by the seat of my pants, which is kind of how I still live my life. So I guess it tracks.
Isaiah and Gabby, have you guys ever seen in the studio or around the old sticker with the old logo? It looks like a cassette tape.
Oh, you gotta let us know where it is.
Yeah, there's tons of stickers here.
Well, I don't know if it's still there or not anymore. It was a sticker that I had made as the promotions director way back in the day, but I still have a couple of them. There's one on my guitar case and stuff like that. But I did that, and I was also the music librarian when we moved over to Next Gen. Previously, like people used to just plug in their computers, and then we put everything on Next Gen, so everybody could just go right off Next Gen. So that was a big change for the station. But yeah, I mean, we were there for it was a very interesting time because a lot of things were changing. You know, when we started the radio, Annabella hadn't come to Montclair yet. And when she did,
I actually have never worked with Annabella.
That's right.
So it's really funny to me because Kenny reached out to me. He was like, I'd never heard of you before. And I was like, that's super offensive. Like, I'm literally the first female sports director. I'm the first host of the Morning Buzz.
You put it very greatly.
I was like, I'm an icon. Like, what are you talking about? And then I realized it's because I'm like the last of the people who never worked with Annabella. And that's because my last semester of college, I stepped away to focus on my career. And that's when Annabella started, because that's when Dick retired. So it's really funny. And that's when it kind of hit me. But I was like, what do you mean? Like, I literally, like, I did so much cool stuff. We were totally going after those like, we sent a team to Michigan. Like, we were the first people to do that. Like, I'm an icon. I'm like, yes, I have an ego. I'm always gonna have an ego. But like, you know what I mean? I did all this really cool stuff. And I was like, wow, like, do I want to do this if these people don't even know who I am? And then I realized that's why. It's because Annabella and I never worked together. So like, she doesn't. So
it's offensive
who's
when
gonna
people
tell
stop knowing who you are.
I'll make Kenny remember the name, Kat, for you. I'll make him remember.
He'll never forget.
Well, there were tons of jokes. And so, you know how, I don't know if you guys still do it, but we had photos of all of the management team members up next to the office door. And mine was not a photo of myself. Mine was a photo of a basketball player slam dunking a cat. Like, I don't know. Like, there were just these like, and I'm the one who hung up all those CDs in the old, office. Like, that was my big pet project for the station. So it's like, it's just really funny that I was just like, wow, I thought I had such an impact, and I'm old and no one knows who I am.
We know who you are.
We remember you, Kat.
But that's it. And I was
You're
like, why do they know Brandon? And I was like, well, Brandon was there a full year after me, and he got to work with Annabella, who I've heard amazing things about, but I just never was graced with that opportunity because I was like, I gotta focus on my career because I'm graduating and I'm boring.
Adulting.
Gotta love it.
And then you're gonna pop a Red Bull. Casually, of course. Hey guys.
But I just wanted to say thank you to Isaiah and Gabby, Kenny, Annabella, everybody for setting this all up and for reaching out to us. This has been so much fun.
This is amazing. I'm so glad that I woke up at 3 a.m. for you guys.
We appreciate it from both you guys. We cannot thank you enough for coming back here on WMSC Upper Montclair, the Morning Buzz. It was such a fun time to have you guys hosting. And, we can't wait to see what happens next for you guys, maybe more Netflix premieres, more NBC stuff. You guys are out there killing the game. And it was great to have you back on the show. That does it here for the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz, though. Once again, guys, thank you very much. And we can't wait to talk again.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye all. Thank you.
Hope to get updates soon.